The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history.
Often considered the third best shooting guard in league history, Dwyane Wade was always an incredible superstar capable of scoring in bunches, defending at a high level, and winning championships. He's a three-time NBA champion, a Hall of Famer, and one of the most impactful guards to ever play the game since the 2000s. But there's a version of Wade that's head and shoulders above any other season he played. This version was so good that it could probably give Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant a run for their money. We're talking about 2006 Wade, who is simply built different.
Wade trying to rub James off, gets to the rim on a flip, goes down.
Well, Dwyane Wade was always different. But unlike his fellow 2003 draft classmates, he wasn't a standout player coming out of high school. While LeBron James was already a genetic freak at 18 years old in 2003, Wade wasn't even highly recruited coming out of high school, even after averaging 27 points and 11 rebounds during his senior year. So, with only a few options for college, he chose to go to Marquette, a school not really known for producing the best NBA superstars. But Wade made the most out of his days in Marquette. 21.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 2.2 steals, and 1.3 blocks during his junior year. He didn't get to play out the full 4-year experience in college, but he was already a household name coming out of Marquette because of what he did for his team during his junior year. So, in what was a legendary and deep 2003 draft class, Wade was among the players people thought could be a top 5 pick. Of course, everyone knew James was going to be the top overall pick. Carmelo Anthony, the star freshman out of Syracuse who led his team to a national championship, was considered the second most talented player. Then there were guys like Chris Bosh and Darko Milicic, who were all considered good picks as well. With all 4 of those players already taken in the first 4 picks, the Miami Heat had to pick the best player available. And that player happened to be Dwyane Wade. The thing about Wade's game was that though he was considered an undersized 6'4" shooting guard during an era where shooting guards were at least 6'6", he already had an NBA-ready game. He was on the older side for a rookie, allowing him to completely develop his game in the 3 years he spent in college. That was enough for him to enter the league with a grown man's body and a playing style no one saw coming.
Finding an open area inside, drives hard, draws the foul. Oh!
Wade was a beast as a rookie on a team that already had clear top options. He was playing alongside Eddie Jones and Lamar Odom, who were both allowed to have more touches and shot attempts. But that didn't matter, because Wade was simply too polished as a rookie, averaging 16.2 points, 4 rebounds, and 4.5 assists in only his first season in the NBA. He was third in the Rookie of the Year voting behind LeBron and Melo, but his stats could have been better had he been on a team with no clear first options. That was the case for both James and Anthony, as they were allowed to be the best players on their teams from day one. Regardless of the results, Wade surprised everyone by being that good. While the rest of the league was high on LeBron and Melo, Wade was making a name for himself as arguably the second best player of that draft class. He even helped Miami get to the second round of the playoffs as a rookie, proving he already had a winner's mentality. Everything, however, changed in 2004. With Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal reaching nuclear levels in their feud, the Los Angeles Lakers had no choice but to trade Shaq. The Heat offered the best package, which focused on Odom. So even though O'Neal was already on the older and heavier side, everyone knew the Heat were going to be troublesome entering the 2004-05 season. But what no one expected was for Wade to rise up as one of the best young players in the league and quite arguably the best player on that Miami Heat team. With everyone thinking Shaq was going to be playing like his old MVP self, Wade went on to become the team's first option on offense. The strong season he had as a rookie more than convinced the Heat that they needed to build around their young 23-year-old shooting guard. Wade obliged by carrying Miami on his shoulders, putting on a fantastic season not only as a scorer, but also as a rebounder and playmaker. In only his second season in the NBA, Wade went on to average 24.1 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 6.8 assists, becoming an all-star for the first time. On top of that, he was named to the All-NBA second team and All-Defensive team in only his second season. He helped Miami win 59 games to become one of the favorites to represent the East in the NBA Finals. Of course, he and the Heat proved during the playoffs why they were the favorites. Miami dominated the New Jersey Nets in the first round of the 2005 playoffs, winning all but one of those 4 games convincingly. Wade finished that series averaging 26.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists while shooting 50% from the field. He was a lot better in the second round when he dismantled the Washington Wizards. The only game he failed to score 30 or more was Game 1. But throughout the series, he averaged 31 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists in 4 games. Wade closed the series out in Game 4 by going for 42 points. Winning both of the first 2 rounds in sweeps allowed the Heat to have an express pass to the East Finals, where they met the defending champions, the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons defeated the Heat in Game 1, setting a series of revenge games for Wade. The rising star had 40 points in Game 2 before registering 36 points in Game 3 as the Heat went on to win both games. However, the Pistons bounced back and capitalized on Wade's injury absence in Game 6. By Game 7, he was far too injured to do any damage as the Pistons won the series in 7 games. But while Wade and the Heat lost that series, what was clear was that he was on the rise. By the 2005-06 season, things were starting to look better for Miami, especially with the additions of veterans Gary Payton, Jason Williams, James Posey, and Antoine Walker.
Does Cassell have 10 assists already?
Oh, me, oh my.
And with Wade's incredible rise in the 2005 playoffs, the Heat decided to allow him to go all out on offense, even if it meant turning Shaq into the team's second option. It worked, because Wade actually had a good early part to the 2005-06 season. But when the calendar turned to 2006, that was when he started to show why he was becoming the second best shooting guard in the league. Throughout the 2006 calendar year, Wade averaged 27.5 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 6.8 assists. Meanwhile, for the whole season, he averaged improved numbers of 27.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 6.7 assists. He was once again a member of the All-NBA second team while helping the Miami Heat win 52 games. While this team didn't have the same wins they had a year ago, largely due to their early season struggles under Stan Van Gundy, the Pat Riley takeover made them look like championship contenders once more. But the man whom they needed to lean on was not their gigantic 7-footer, but their 6'4" guard. Wade had a more modest series in the first round of the 2006 playoffs, putting up 24.7 points and 7.2 assists in 6 games.
Come from now the steal. Wade takes all the way. Yes.
But those numbers were more than enough to push Miami past the Chicago Bulls to make it to the second round, where they met the New Jersey Nets. The Nets surprised Miami with a win in Game 1. But Wade decided to take matters into his own hands, scoring 30 or more in the next 3 games to average 30.7 points on 55.6% shooting from the field in those outings. While his performance in Game 5 wasn't too good, it was good enough to help Miami win the series in 5 games, winning 4 straight after allowing the Nets to win Game 1. That win secured a rematch with the Pistons, who were looking to make it to the finals 3 straight times. Similar to the series against the Nets, Wade scored 30 or more in games 2-4 to give the Miami Heat a 3-1 series lead over the defending Eastern Conference champions. But while the Pistons fought hard to extend the series to 6 games, Wade's tough double-double performance in Game 6 helped secure the series win for the Miami Heat, as they were now on the way to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. Interestingly, they were set to meet the Dallas Mavericks, led by Dirk Nowitzki. This franchise was also on its way to the finals for the first time, as the league was about to crown a first-time champion in 2006. But when the series started, it looked like the Mavs were far too talented to lose to the Heat. They won the first 2 games to come out of the gate strong with a 2-0 lead. But that was when Wade wore his hard hat and decided to go to work, carrying the entire team on his back to ensure this series was not going to end early. He was simply unstoppable in Game 3, demolishing the Mavericks defense by going for 42 points and 13 rebounds.
A nice balance of young players and veterans. Wade inside.
Wade was having his way, attacking the basket and drawing fouls. That performance made this series more interesting. True enough, he had another dominant outing in Game 4, going for 36 points while attempting only 9 free throws the entire game. Even though he didn't have the whistle in his favor in Game 4, he still did more than enough to tie the series 2-2, sending it to a virtual best of 3. Game 5 was the toughest game of the series, as neither team wanted to give an edge. That was when Wade had one of the most amazing clutch moments of his life. He scored the Heat's final 11 points in the fourth quarter. This included a clutch close-range but off-balance jump shot with 3 seconds left on the clock to tie the game and send it to overtime. He added 4 more points in the extra period as the Miami Heat won that series on the strength of Wade's incredible 43 points. That performance did have its fair share of controversies, because Wade attempted 25 free throws, making fans question why he was getting more fouls called in his favor. Whatever the case, his heroic effort was the reason for that victory, as Miami was now up 3-2 heading into Game 6. The expectation was for the Mavs to extend the series to 7 games after going back home to Dallas for Game 6. But that wasn't the case. With the Heat clinging on to a small lead with under 30 seconds left on the clock, Wade was still aggressive enough to draw fouls as he extended the lead far enough for Miami to hold on strong until the final buzzer.
Wade right at Daniels. Tough shot. Count it. And a foul.
By the end of the game, Wade had 36 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks in a spectacular all-around effort as he led the Heat to its first ever NBA championship. With Shaq struggling all series long, Wade was the unquestioned Finals MVP. He averaged 34.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 2.7 steals, and 1 block the entire series. More importantly, in leading Miami to 4 straight wins, he averaged 39.3 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 2.5 steals. There was no doubt he was the only reason for the Heat's win, as no other player would have carried that burden had he not been around. Yes, not even Shaq would have done that for the Heat in that series at his age. The way Wade did it was simple. He was using his speed, quickness, and explosiveness to the fullest as he was toying with the Dallas defense. He was aggressive all series long, attacking the paint and finding ways to draw fouls or put his defenders in a position to foul him. And when they tried to sag off him, he could hit a mid-range jumper. Simply put, Wade found the perfect formula in that series. And it also helped that there was no player on that Mavericks roster quick and explosive enough to keep up with him. He had a godlike moment in that 2006 Finals, and no one has been able to replicate what he did. Not Kobe, not LeBron, not Kevin Durant, not Stephen Curry, not Nikola Jokic, and not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. At that moment in time, Dwyane Wade was arguably the greatest player in the world. He was better than both Kobe and LeBron, who were both at home watching him hoist the championship trophy and the Finals MVP award. That Finals performance is often ranked as one of the greatest of all time, and it was that 2006 version of Dwyane Wade that catapulted him into stardom. Wade went on to win the scoring championship in 2009 and won 2 more NBA titles with the Heat during the Big Three era. However, that 2006 run of the championship was his unquestioned peak. In 2009, he may have won the scoring title, but was doing so as the best player of a mediocre team. Then, in the Heat's championship wins in 2012 and 2013, he was playing second fiddle to LeBron James. But in 2006, he was simply on another level. Wade was built different while leading a team of old veterans and a washed-up Shaquille O'Neal who struggled to average 20 a night. The odds were against him in that series, but he was the brightest star even when compared to an MVP-level player like Dirk Nowitzki. Dwyane Wade's career never had a moment bigger than that 2006 championship run, even though he enjoyed a long career of championships and all-star appearances. So there's no mystery why he's often considered the 3rd best shooting guard in history.